Good day to each and every single one of you, wherever you may be on the planet. This is Sacred Planets, also aka Astrology of the Soul, and my name is Israel Ajosi. And today we have an eclipse. We've got an eclipse in Sagittarius. It's a new moon, also known as a solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. I believe it's going to be around 23 degrees of Sagittarius. So, and it's the last eclipse for 2020. What a year it has been. It's been a magnificent year. Yeah, so I thought I would go through all of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And I'll also be doing a little bit of tarot for you guys as well. So I'll pull out a card for each one of the zodiac signs just to let you know how the eclipse is essentially going to be, and perhaps what you can be experiencing over, or what to look forward to over the next month based on your zodiac sign. Do take into consideration, of course, I'm just speaking about the zodiac signs. It's more from a kind of general, it will apply to you definitely, but it's also kind of like a general perspective also as well, because we know that we're more, we're very much individuals. So if you want to have a personal, more deeper reading into your life, you can, go about doing that. If you want to hit me up, if you want to contact me, if you're looking to have a more deeper personal reading in terms of what's happening in your life, you are more than welcome to do so. You can WhatsApp me on 07943669879. And you can also reach me at sacredplanets@gmail.com. You can also reach me at israelajosi@gmail.com. So whichever one you prefer. Yeah, be sure to do that. So I'm just going to go through the 12 signs of the zodiac. However, just before I start, just to let you know, an eclipse. What is an eclipse? We have now every month we do have a new moon and a full moon. Okay, so that's very important to bear in mind. An eclipse essentially is a new moon or a full moon, but with much more power, much more intensity, because it's the time when the sun, earth, and moon are sort of like in a perfect alignment. So we have the new moons and full moons are real, but they're not necessarily in a perfect line. So that eclipse moment is when you get earth, sun, moon sort of like really aligning in a perfect straight line. And that's when you have the eclipse. That's sort of like the simplicity of it, really. So what it does is it really magnifies. We really get the intensity of the magnetic forces of the sun, the moon, and earth all coming together. So it intensifies whatever energy is definitely there. This eclipse that we're having here, new moon eclipse, solar eclipse, in the sign of Sagittarius, it's a new moon. So anytime we have a new moon, it represents a new cycle, a new beginning. It gives us an opportunity to plant new seeds, new things in our life that we can reap further down the line, and we can benefit from. So with this new moon eclipse, the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, taking place on the 14th of December, and it's the last one for 2020, is giving us an opportunity. And we know we've seen, throughout 2020, especially mainly obviously the coronavirus, but all kinds of different situations happening. We've seen upheavals here and there. We've seen a changing of presidency, for example, also in America. So we've seen like huge changes that have been somewhat, we could say, unexpected, upheavals, chaos. It's been a wild year, as we all know. But as we're coming to the end of that year, this eclipse, this solar eclipse, gives us a chance to develop and plant something new, that can you know, for next year and the year after and the years to come, because with eclipses, the energy of the eclipses, they last up to like 6 months, a year, 18 months. You know, they work on a particular kind of cycle. So it's given us a chance here to plant something. You know, at the end of this month, we're also going to be having the Jupiter Saturn conjunction. I will be talking about that also on another, you know, video. I'll be explaining that. So crucial times, astrologically wise, energetically wise, yearly wise, and just if we just look at a year, just from January to December. Again, we're in December. We're at the end, aren't we? So we're getting ready. Everybody's wanting to know what's going to be happening in 2021, how the year is going to be. Well, this is a really great and powerful and sensitive time for us to really plant that seed, to really soak positive seeds, you know, our intentions, our goals, our aims, and really catapult it forward. So I'm going to go through the 12 signs of the zodiac. I will also be letting you know which particular house the eclipse is going to be landing in for you, depending on your rising sign, especially, but your sun sign. If you don't know your rising sign, then your sun sign. And then we can definitely go through that. And then, like I said, I'll be putting out a card for you guys also as well, that, you know, just sort of like a bit of additional information as well. So let's start with the first sign of the zodiac. So that's going to be Aries. So for Aries, this eclipse in Sagittarius. Now, this is if you are Aries rising, especially if you're Aries rising. I'm really predominantly working with the rising signs because it's much more accurate and it will be much more detailed for you. It will be much more specific for you. But if you don't know your rising sign and you are an Aries, then this will also apply to you as well. So Aries rising or Aries sun sign, this eclipse is going to be in your 9th house. So this is the house of long distance traveling. It's the house of higher knowledge, maybe situations to do with studying, universities, broadening your horizons, perhaps looking to travel or migrate or go on some kind of adventure somewhere. That's the particular area of life that has been stimulated for you. 9th house is also connected with your faith, your belief, your philosophical approaches towards life as well. So you may find something in and around that challenges your faith, that maybe is asking you to look for a new way, to look into your belief systems and your approach towards what you're believing as well. So there's something new being planted. Perhaps maybe you're going to be traveling to a new place that you've never been before. You're going to be planning it over the next month or two. So that's what it's going to be for you, Aries, over the course of this solar eclipse in Sagittarius landing in your 9th house. That's for Aries rising, by the way, and also Aries sun sign, for those of you who don't know your rising sign. I'm just going to pull out also a card for you as well, and let's see what you're going to get. So you got the Temperance, which is really interesting because that's a kind of Sagittarius kind of card anyway. It's got a Sagittarius theme to it. So you got the Temperance there. I don't know if you can see it properly, but you got the Temperance card. So for the Aries rising, the Temperance card essentially is indicating that, especially with this eclipse, try not to overdo, try to find some moderation, try to find some balance. You don't want to overdo something. You don't want to, there's an element of patience. There may be a feeling like you're a little bit in two worlds. You're not knowing where you actually are, whether you're, oh, am I here? Am I there? So you're a little bit in two worlds. There's also something that's connected with travel with that card also as well, actually, funny enough. And so that kind of backs up what I was saying earlier on. So for Aries rising or Aries sun sign, there may be something new, a travel, an adventure that you're seeking to go on. And this eclipse landing in your 9th house is going to be stimulating that allows you to create that. So that's what it is for the Aries rising and Aries sun sign. Okay, let's move on to the next, which is the Taurus. So for you Taurus people, this solar eclipse in Sagittarius is going to be in your 8th house. Now, the 8th house is the house, it's a financial house. It's the house of other people's money. It's the house of inheritance. It's the house of investments. Anything that's connected with other people's money, loans, also debts as well. Those bills that you've got to pay. It can be to do with like credit cards, mortgages. Those are the places that the eighth house will tend to deal with. Insurance, PPI, tax, all of that kind of situation. It's all eighth house. The eighth house is also known to be the house of death. No, please don't panic. I'm not saying that you're going to die in any way, but death in a metaphorical sense, from a perspective of perhaps needing to let go of something in your life, perhaps that's perhaps also connected with your resources in some kind of way, or it's maybe been disturbing your financial circumstances in some kind of way, bills that you've got to pay, and just sorting out your money and debts that you owe to other people. So there's a cycle there. There's a new cycle there coming in. Eighth house is also connected with inheritance. So for you Taurus people, there may be something connected with inheritance that you may experience as well with this solar eclipse landing in your eighth house. So yeah, very powerful house indeed. So let's pull out a card for you, Taurus rising and Taurus sun sign, and let's see what is in store for you. So predominantly for Taurus rising, but if you're a Taurus sun sign, if you don't know your rising sign and you're a Taurus sun, then that's fine. It will also apply to you as well. So what card you got here? So you got the Prince of Cups. So you got the Prince of Cups here. Prince of Cups is it's a good card. Nice young gentleman. So perhaps also as well, there's going to be maybe some deep involvement with this particular character or this particular person. Very often it tends to be a water sign. In terms of age, tends to be between like 35, 45 years of age, that kind of thing. But the Prince of Cups is somebody who's a romantic at heart. So it could also be connected with love. And especially because that eclipse is landing in your eighth house, it could be also connected with perhaps a deep emotional connection that you're developing with this person. And perhaps there's some kind of transformation or some kind of rebirth energy. Eighth house tends to have kind of like a rebirth energy. So perhaps there's something like a rebirth kind of energy in your love life or with this particular character. If you're single, perhaps maybe it could be somebody new coming into your life and something of that nature. So yeah, that's what it is for you Taurus. So with the eclipse landing in the eighth house, remember, it's other people's money, it's resources, it's your bills, it's your debts. It can be inheritance also as well, or anything to do with joint finances. If you're in a relationship, maybe things to do with your partner's money may be coming up. So also watch out for that again over the course of the next month, because it's going to be over the course of the next month that way you're going to see it really coming up. That's for you Taurus rising and Taurus sun sign as well. Let's move on to the next zodiac sign, which is you Geminis. So for Gemini, this new moon, this solar eclipse is going to be in your seventh house. The seventh house is the house of relationships, partnerships. It's the house of marriage. It's the house of contracts. It's the house where you enter some kind of committed an agreement with somebody or something, perhaps. So it could be a business relationship. It could be a romantic relationship also as well. Marriage, like I said. Contracts, negotiations, all of those kinds of things tend to come under seventh house. So you are, something's sparking in that particular house for you. Perhaps a new relationship is on the horizon, especially if you're not perhaps maybe if you're not with anybody, you're single. So if you're single, that seventh house is being stimulated in some kind of way that's allowing you to perhaps somebody new perhaps maybe to come in. Also, it could be, if you're already in a relationship, maybe it could be pertaining more to maybe your work or signing depending what kind of the nature of business that you're in, maybe signing an agreement, signing a contract on some kind of level. It could be this particular area of your life that we may see being activated here for you. So it's all about seventh house. It's all about relationships. It's all about dealing with people on a one-to-one level and significant relationships or contracts and agreements that are going to be happening for you Gemini rising and Gemini sun signs as well. So for Gemini rising, this is for you. Also, if you're Gemini sun as well, if you don't know your rising sign, this will be for you as well. So I'm just going to pull out a card here and just have a look, see what's happening for the Gemini rising. So you got Five of Pentacles. This can be a little bit difficult, the Five of Pentacles. Don't know if you can see that there. It's a bit, my lighting's not so great, need to set up a studio, man. Yeah, you got the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles essentially is a card that's connected with financial difficulties in some kind of way. So you may find perhaps maybe over the next month that there's, maybe some lack of finances that you want. And again, it's perhaps connected with this relationship and contract or agreement that you're having also as well. It's probably one of the reasons why you're going to need to go into this contract arena. Too. The Five of Pentacles actually is indicating a time of, perhaps maybe finances, or you're just feeling a little bit low. It doesn't necessarily even have to be financial. It can be just the feeling of feeling insecure and not having enough, or feeling that you have a lack of something in some kind of way. So perhaps maybe you need to sort of like seek some assistance, perhaps maybe from somebody who can help you out. Somebody who can offer you something. Again, that's that seventh house, that relationship, perhaps, coming in quite there as well. So do watch out for the finances. You may feel like you're a little bit in a dead end, but don't worry, it's just a phase, over the next month or so. Don't try not to get too caught up, perhaps maybe watch your expenditures over the Christmas, New Year kind of period. But don't worry, like I said, it's just a little phase that we all go through at some point in our lives. Maybe there's not enough money, or we're just feeling a little bit down. We're just feeling like we're just going through a rough patch, or we're in a bit of a dead end, or feeling a little bit rejected. That's something, again, that the Geminis could well be facing over the course of the next month. So definitely watch out for that. So that's for you, Gemini rising and Gemini sun sign. Okay, let's go to the next sign, Cancer. The watery Cancers. So for you guys, this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius is going to be in your sixth house. Now, the sixth house tends to be a little bit difficult. It is a house of work, so your daily routines, what you do in terms of your work life, what your daily actions are about. The sixth house is also the house of illness and disease. So it's also, with the new moon really landing in your sixth house. And this is for Cancer rising, especially Cancer rising, but also if you don't know your rising sign and you are a Cancer sun sign, it will also apply to you as well. So the sixth house, again, it's house of illness and disease. So perhaps this new moon eclipse here is letting you know that this is a particular area of life where you really need to start to pay more attention to, perhaps maybe, developing perhaps a new diet, a new kind of, routine into your daily life that's perhaps maybe bringing a bit more structure into it, so to speak. It's got to be changed. We have to remember that this eclipse is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a very it's a fire sign. It's very dynamic. It's very it's going left and right. It's full of freedom. So there's something there about perhaps maybe changing the way, the animal that represents the Sagittarius is the centaur, which is, constantly running left to right and so on and so forth. So there's something there definitely that you perhaps need to pay attention to your diet life and to your work life, also as well. And like I said, there's it's a new moon energy. It's a solar energy. So it's telling us something, plant something there, pay some attention. Perhaps it can, create opportunity for maybe a new kind of job or a new kind of way of working. Maybe, working, necessarily changing job, but your routines on how you go about the work is going to be in a whole kind of new dimension. So let's pick out a card for you. Cancer rising. So this is Cancer rising, but if you're a Cancer sun sign as well, and if you don't know your rising sign, but you're a Cancer sun sign, then it will also be applicable to you. But it's more for the Cancer rising people. So let's pick out a card for you and let's see what's in store. So you got the devil, man. We got the devil, the devil, the devil. The devil in you. Nothing wrong with that. The devil essentially is a card that can be quite restrictive. Somebody feeling quite restrictive. And I think that's quite interesting, the symbolism there, because Sagittarius is a zodiac sign that's full of freedom. It wants to break. There's something there that's, it's a mutable sign. It's often going left to right. So it needs to sort of like, it's something that's anti this, anti devil. So, but what this card is indicating is that you're perhaps feeling blocked. You're feeling frustrated on many levels. Something has bound you, something is restricting you, and through that you're getting frustrated also as well. It's also an indication that perhaps maybe you need to take more responsibility. And because this eclipse again is landing in your 6th house, it's perhaps showing you here that, taking more responsibility perhaps in your diet, your health, your hygiene life, but also in your work life as well, how you're working. And it's not just all about work. Are you getting enough rest? Are you eating well? That is supporting your lifestyle, your everyday lifestyles. So that's what's important for you, Cancer rising, and also Cancer sun signs as well. Let's move on to the next zodiac sign, Leo. So for Leos, you are the lucky ones this month. Okay, so this, solar eclipse in Sagittarius is going to be in your 5th house. It's naturally the house of Leo, but it's the 5th house. What's the 5th house about? The 5th house is about love. The 5th house is about romance. The 5th house is about children. The 5th house is about your creative outlets. It's your mojo. It's where you get a sense of, oh, I can do this. Or I'm good at that. It also has an element of gifts and talents. It's house of good fortune. So for you Leos, this solar eclipse is really landing in a good place where we can perhaps maybe see you granted something quite fortunate in life, perhaps something romantic. If you're single and you're Leo, this could actually open doors, opportunities for you to perhaps meet somebody new. If you're already in a relationship, it could boost the relationship, make it better. And the top end could be a pregnancy, or maybe planning for a baby, or you may hear about a pregnancy, or, that is dear, that is close to you, over the next month or two. So that's what it's going to be for you, Leo rising, especially. Leo rising, but if you don't know your sun, rising sign, Leo sun sign as well. So it's for the Leo, but Leo rising predominantly. So let's pull out a card for you, Leos, and let's see what's going on. What adds to that, maybe if there's any kind of guidance, that can back that up and assist, basically. So what we got the Princess of Wands, which is kind of like a Leo card anyway, right? So we got the Princess of Wands. So the Princess of Wands is like, it's a fiery card anyway, and you Leos are fire signs, so that shouldn't be too difficult for you. But it's indicating, going on a new adventure, seeking a new adventure. It's almost like there's an impulse to want to perhaps travel, move, create, or design an enterprise or something of that level. So that's quite nice, and I think that's good because you've got that 5th house where that eclipse is going to be really where it's activating for you. So some good fortune there, perhaps going on an adventure, maybe traveling, maybe releasing something, maybe creating something, an enterprise of some sort. you know, that's all good and well for you, Leo rising or Leo sun signs. So that looks quite good. So we're going to see that over the course of the next month. That's what the eclipse is gonna be bringing for you, and with the tarot card there, with the with the Princess of Wands. It's just indicating that you take some baby steps, because the Princess of Wands indicates like it's early stages. You know, you're just going into there. Maybe also as well, because you've got the fifth house, maybe there's some new, for those of you again who are single, there's some new, there's a little spark of romance. You wanted to go for it. You want to get that excitement. So that's what that's about. Water splashing in my eye there. Yeah, so that's what it is for you, Leo rising and Leo sun signs as well. So let's move on to the next sign, which is the Virgos. So Virgo, you get the fourth house. Virgo rising and Virgo sun sign. You get the fourth house. This is to do with the home. This is to do with property. It's to do with land. Also connected perhaps with your father. This is what it is for Virgo rising and Virgo sun signs. You're going to find that there's a huge energy around the home. This could be to do with redecorating the home, changing the home, moving from one place to another, but home, domestic areas. And also perhaps maybe something that's maybe sparking some kind of light that's wanting you to ground, build some kind of foundation, set some kind of foundations in terms of your domestic life. So it's all around the home. It's all around family. So it's a great time for perhaps change your home, because it's a new moon. So maybe over the course of the next month or two, there will be plans to move home, to change the home, change residency, redecorate, refurbish, sort of like bring some new, there may be some new energy coming in and around the family, maybe people moving in or people moving out perhaps, but it's all around home. Maybe you're looking to invest, buy a new property, land, something of that nature. That's what it's about. It's about the fourth house. So fourth house is good. It's home stuff. That's it's essentially, it's family, home stuff. So that's what you've got. And again, you've got that new moon in Sagittarius, and again, Sagittarius is it's very mutable. So again, we're seeing movement here, definitely taking place for you, Virgo rising and Virgo sun sign, over the course of the next month. I'm just going to pull out a card for you guys, and let's see what card you, Virgo rising and Virgo sun sign, have got. So you got the Star card. This is the Star card you got here. Very good card. It means hope, light at the end of the tunnel. The card's still a little bit dark, so it may be indicating that you're still under some kind of dark shadow. Let's say, not bad, but we all go through these kind of not so great periods in life. But the star's representing that everything slowly but surely will start to come together. The alchemy, the magic is starting to make, you're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And again, in regards of perhaps maybe home, family situations, land and things like that, you're going to start to see, a bright light at the end of the tunnel, things slowly coming. So it's saying here that, the success is coming, there's light at the end of the tunnel coming, but you're not there yet, but it's definitely on the horizon. Well, over the next couple of months, perhaps maybe around like January, February, you'll probably see it around that time. So that's what it is for you, Virgo rising and Virgo sun sign. Okay, let's move to the next zodiac sign, which is Libra. So for you, Libra rising or Libra sun signs, for you, you're getting the third house. What is the third house about? Well, first and foremost, it's about siblings, brothers and sisters. So we may see something new sparking up because it's a new solar eclipse in your third house. We may find something new in regards to your brothers and sisters coming up. They may be more emphasized in your life. That particular area of your life is more active. We find it's the third house. It's also the house of travel. It's more inland travel, not necessarily international travel, but it's travel nevertheless. It's the third house does require quite a lot of movement. It's like we're moving away from something or moving to something. So it's initiating some kind of travel. It's a new moon as well, so perhaps maybe it can open up an opportunity for perhaps a new vehicle, a new mode of transportation, a new traveling mode, a new traveling place, perhaps. You may find yourself over the next month like being very busy. You're doing lots of journeys, lots of traveling. It could be international, but maybe not so, more maybe inland, but you're just going to find yourself like in that liminal space. Third house as well can be learning as well. There is a learning element to the third house. There is a kind of like a, if we could say, kind of like a mental activity. So learning new things, perhaps doing a course, finding a new interest, reading a book, finding yourself writing more, reading more, communicating more, because, the third house does have a communication element. So you may find yourself just talking more and writing more and reading more, finding more interest. Again, that mind traveling, it's so you may find that again with the third house. But it's more going to be around siblings and travel. Essentially, and like stuff to do with your transportation and mode of transportation. Perhaps you may find yourself, traveling more by a bus or by train or by car, or like I say, you may buy a new car, a new vehicle. If you are Libra rising or Libra sun sign, it may be a good time for you to maybe look into new mode of transportation. Might be one of these new scooters that everybody's riding around on. Who knows? Let's pull out a card for you. Libra rising or Libra sun sign, in case you don't know your rising sign. And let's see what's in store for the Libra rising or Libra sun sign. What do you got? 10 of Pentacles. Woo woo wee. You got the 10 of Pentacles. Now, the 10 of Pentacles actually is a card of wealth. Predominantly, it's a card of wealth. It's often connected with inheritance, big money. So Libra rising or Libra sun sign, this is you. It can indicate perhaps something coming up that may be like a huge amount of money, a huge amount of inheritance, perhaps maybe coming to you. The 10 of Pentacles often can indicate like a move, like making a move, moving to a new area. It can be moving to a new house. Obviously, if you do move area, of course you're going to move house. But so there is some kind of movement element to it. But it's a movement like, oh, maybe you're moving to a bigger house, or you've inherited something, and you can now move into this place. Or it can perhaps maybe be a big or large amount of money. A large amount of money that allows you to be able to move into a better place, a better location, a better area, to travel somewhere else, and where you can. So it's very, very good. It's a really good card. It's a powerful card, and it's Pentacles as well. So it tends to be very earthy. Tends to be, and very often large amounts of money are involved. It may not be money directly. It may be something that's just worth a lot of money. It could be, like I said, maybe you inherit a house or something, or a property or land, or something of that nature, or maybe something, a possession, a physical possession, and it's worth a lot. But you're not necessarily going to sell it, but it's never worth a lot. But it's something like it can be handed down from generation to generation. So property, houses are often handed down from generation to generation, and jewelry or possessions are often handed down from generation to generation. So it may be something along that particular kind of line. So keep your eyes peeled, see how that works out. But it's a good card. Libra rising or Libra sun sign, that was for you. So let's move on to the next zodiac sign, which is the Scorpios. So for the Scorpio, you're getting Scorpio rising as well. I'll have to keep stressing that you're rising. For Scorpio rising, if you're Scorpio rising or Scorpio sun sign as well, in case you don't know your rising sign, it can be either one of them. You're getting this eclipse, this solar eclipse is going to be in your second house. This is the house of money. It's the house of money. It's the house of resources. It's the house of your sense of security. There's an element of even your self-esteem actually also as well. So we're seeing an eclipse banging in there. It's letting us know new ways, perhaps new ways of your, new ways in terms of attitudes towards how you get money, how you spend money, how you utilize your resources. Um, uh, um, it could open up a new opportunity for a new stream of income, perhaps. We have to remember it's in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is dual. So maybe it could be giving you a new opportunity for some extra income. It could be a sideline business or doing something else, It's Sagittarius as well. It's ruled by Jupiter, It's, Jupiter's often got that lucky touch to him. So in your second house, we could perhaps maybe see something over the next month or two really coming about that's really beneficial financial wise for you Scorpio rising and Scorpio sun sign. So it's all about the second house, all about the resources. So what's your resources over the next month or two? See how that goes, especially with this powerful eclipse landing in your second house. Sounds really good. Quite cool. We could always do with a bit more money, right? Yeah, I'm sure we could. No matter how much money we got, we always want more. But try not to get too greedy though. But yeah, it can really open up some doors in terms of our finances and our resources. So I'm just going to pull out a card for you, Scorpio rising and Scorpio sun sign. What have you got? You got the Eight of Pentacles. So you got a Pentacles also as well, a little bit like the previous Libras before. Although they got the Ten of Pentacles, but the Scorpio rising people, you got the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is really good because it indicates perhaps you having to learn your craft. So the Eight of Pentacles indicates like perhaps having to learn something, learn how to do something. It's often like maybe working with your hands, but not necessarily. It could be just learning a new skill, learning a new craft, and putting the work in. And remember what I said, this eclipse does land in your second house. So this eclipse landing in your second house, with this card, it's indicating that, hey, perhaps there's something that you need to learn. You need to maybe go on a course, master your craft, master your skill. And through that, it allows you or gives you, some, an opportunity to have some extra income, that's the way I see it. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing. So look into that. Look into maybe taking on a course. You probably, if it is the case, you'll probably be thinking about it anyway. Perhaps maybe, let me do this course, or, maybe something that you just add into your repertoire. You've already got a job, you've already got an income, but something, you can learn more. You can do a little, it could be a short course, it could be a long-term course, but you put your work in, you learn the craft, you master it, and it allows you to have some extra income with that eclipse landing in your second house. So that's what it is for you, Scorpio rising and Scorpio sun signs. Okay. Okay. Next zodiac sign is Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius, of course, that's where the eclipse is. So this eclipse is going to be in your first house, Sagittarius rising especially. So if you're Sagittarius rising, but also a Sagittarius sun sign, this eclipse is landing in your first house. The first house is really about the body. It's the you. It doesn't get more personal or more powerful than the first house. You are the embodiment of the eclipse, essentially speaking. You're gonna bring it into the physical body. So the first house is essentially connected with our health, our well-being, the physical body, because the first house is the body. So it can be indicating perhaps, a new energy around, perhaps maybe focusing on your health, your well-being, your looks, perhaps maybe wanting to have a new hairstyle, get a new tattoo, start doing some fitness exercises, going to the gym and, you know, that kind of thing. Go and get a massage, you know. But essentially, the first house is also connected with that. You know, it's, you know, the first house is known as the steering wheel of the chart. So it's indicating perhaps like a new direction. So it's giving you a sense of power, and it's giving you a sense of, we could say, individuality to kind of go and do what you want to do. It's almost like you've got more power at your disposal. So having an eclipse there is quite significant, because what you may find over the next month or two for you Sagittarius rising people or Sagittarius sun sign is like, it's giving you like, hi, let me go for this. Let me give this a go. Let me go in this direction. So it's quite good. We know Sagittarius, again, it's a wild sign, you know, it's rented by the centaur. You know, so yeah, it does have its wildness. You know, it's quite volatile, you know, but it's ruled by Jupiter, so it always gets the, you know, it's got a sense of luck to it, you know, in some kind of way. I often find anyway. But that's, you know, that's what it is for you Sagittarius rising and Sagittarius sun sign. It's really about you. It's about me, myself, and I. What do I want? How do I go about getting it this month? It's about putting yourself in positions of power where you can utilize that Sagittarius energy to go in any direction where you want to go and fulfill your goals, essentially. And that's what it's about. And again, also with the physical body as well. So you may embody it as well, and it may be more just paying more attention to your physical being and your physical surroundings, so to speak. So let me pull out a card for you Sagittarius people, and let's see what's going on here. Saggy. What are we having for the Sagittarius? Okay, so the Sagittarius, you got the 7 of Wands, okay? Okay, well, it's a fiery card anyway, yeah? 7 of Wands. The sevens are really like an imbalanced number. They're kind of like, there's something funny about sevens. It's kind of like a spiritual number, but there's also something that's not balanced about it as well. It's almost like it's there, but it's not there kind of thing. So sevens, there's a lot of confusion around sevens often. But the 7 of Wands represents, because it's the wands, so it does represent some kind of conflict on some kind of level. So you'll find yourself in some kind of conflict, having to make maybe a certain important decision in terms of where you're going and what you want to do. Remember that eclipse is in your first house. So it's actually indicating that you know, there's going to be a bit of a battle, but the thing is with the 7 of Wands, what it indicates is that you're going to be on top of the situation. You rise above the situation. You know, I would suggest that you think spiritually. You know, try whatever the issue or the problem is, or the difficulty is, or the challenge that you're wrestling with, just try to raise yourself above it, because the 7 of Wands indicates that you rise above the situation, and you will rise above the situation. You will overcome, you will conquer, you know, but there is some kind of fight. It's not going to be straightforward, if you get what I mean. And especially because you're in that first house as well. So that first house, again, like I said, it's the steering wheel of the chart. So it allows you to really, so yeah, you're in the steering wheel, you're the boss, you're the leader, you're going for it, but you also, it's not going to go straightforward. So you're going to have to overcome certain situations to get what it is that you want. And that's what it is for Sagittarius rising and Sagittarius sun sign as well. Okay. Next zodiac sign, Capricorn. So for the Capricorn, for you guys, you have the 12th house. This is a really behind the scenes kind of place. The 12th house is known as the house of limitation. It's quite interesting because Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, and the 12th house itself does have a Saturn kind of element to it. It has a bit limitation, restrictive kind of element to it. It's often quite spiritual. It's the house of seclusion. So you've got a new moon energy standing out there. So what you may find is things coming up from your past. for Capricorn rising and Capricorn sun signs. What you may find is a lot of things coming up, a lot of issues coming up from the past. Maybe they very often they will be connected perhaps with family, because 12th house is also the house of ancestors also as well. So the 12th house actually requires us to kind of, go through this kind of self-reflection kind of mode and mentality. It's good for spiritual, perhaps maybe meditation, yoga, and spiritual disciplines. It allows us to really self-reflect. So this new moon eclipse there landing in Sagittarius in your 12th house can be pointing towards looking at the more subconscious, the more inner level, things that you are perhaps not paying much attention to, things that you are blinded to. The 12th house is a blind spot for us. So that's why it's often the house of the unconscious, or things that we're not aware of, or things that haven't developed yet. The 12th house represents things that are still in a baby stage. They're still in the womb kind of stage. So again, that eclipse there, and again, anything that's in the baby stage, it's not developed yet, it's not matured yet, it's not fully, so it's still kind of somewhat weak, if you get what I mean. So it's like 12th house is kind of like, the bun in the oven that's not finished cooked yet. It's kind of that thing. So you may be dealing with things that, okay, you got to wait, you got to be patient, you got to wait for it to develop. It's kind of weak. And you kind of just got to lay low. 12th house, I just find like it's good to just lay low, meditate, introspect. So that's what it is for you, Capricorn rising and Capricorn sun signs. I'm just going to pick out a card for you, Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun sign, and see what, let's see what's in store for you guys. So you're getting the King of Swords, yeah, King of Swords. So this is also going to be a particular individual, perhaps plays a role in your particular life. It's the King of Swords. Often he's got a Libra kind of element to him. Often a good looking, gift of the gab, that kind of character. But the King of Swords essentially is somebody who executes. He's got the sword to cut, choom, execute. This is what it's going to be. And because you're in that 12th house, the 12th house has a kind of purging, a renunciation, a letting go of kind of effect. So again, so that's kind of indicating that there's something perhaps you got to let go of, you got to cut, shoot, out of your life. It could be a relationship, it could be somebody in connection with the relationship, not necessarily so. So please don't panic, don't think that I said, oh, my relationship's going to end because I'm Capricorn rising or I'm a Capricorn. No, but there may be something in the relationship or about a relationship that needs to come to some kind of end, something that you need to let go of. You will know what it is, but you've got to execute. It may not necessarily be a relationship. I just use relationship as an example. For some of you, it will be a relationship, but it's about letting go, cut that cord, got to let this go. It's no longer serving me anymore. There may be a sense of a loss. You may feel like you've lost somebody or you have to lose somebody, because the 12th house is also the house of loss. So with this King of Swords, it's saying, out. So that's what it is with the King of Swords. So that's for you, Capricorn rising and Capricorn sun signs. Next zodiac sign is the Aquarians. So Aquarius rising people, Aquarius rising or Aquarius sun. This is for you guys. Again, Aquarius rising or Aquarius sun, this eclipse, solar eclipse in Sagittarius is going to be in your 11th house. This is a good house. It's the house of friends, people, benefactors in your life, people who are of great benefit, people who you network with, your social life, your colleagues, people, groups, organizations, clubs that you may be a part of. You got a new solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse landing in that 11th house. This can bring new friends, new networking, whether it's through social media or through some kind of group organizational thing. You get a new plug. So as my father always used to say as a child, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So friends are very important. People who are like-minded for us are very, very important. So that's where this new moon is really going to be landing in your 11th house. So it's really about people who are of great benefit to you. It's actually quite a good house. It's known as the house of good spirits. So, so that's good. We can find something, a new seed being planted there. Perhaps you need to start organizing and how you're connecting and how you're networking with other people. Developing or having new friends in life are things that you're going to be witnessing with that eclipse there in your 11th house. Well, it's a great place. Let's pull out a card for you, Aquarius rising and Aquarius sun sign, and let's see what's happening for you there. You know, some additional information and advice. So you get in the two of wands is what you've got as Aquarius rising. So the two of wands is an interesting card. It's a wands. It's quite dynamic. It's indicating that you're going, you know, the two of wands can indicate that you're between two worlds. You know where you need to go. You know what you have to do. And especially in that 11th house that you've got as well, with friends, acquaintances, and your networking arena. It's also the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. So it's going to also be connected with what you're hoping for, what you're wishing for, and how you're, you know, it's the house of aspirations. So there's certain aspirations that you're trying to go for and trying to grab and trying to reach also as well. This two of wands is indicating that you know what you need to do, but you're somewhat maybe apprehensive or a little bit fearful. You're afraid of leaving something or maybe somebody behind. You know, the two of wands represents that you're in that too. You're in that doorway, basically. So go for it. Stop being fearful. It's the wands as well. The wands are about rising up to the challenge and taking it. You know, so that's what that two of wands essentially is about. It's a new direction. But there's the element of confusion there because it's the two. Number two is always about balancing. So you've got to balance. It's like, okay, I've got to go for this, but at the same time, I do want to keep this in perspective as well. So, and that's what it is. And again, putting it to the 11th house, it's going to be to do with your aspirations, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your friends, your colleagues, your networking, and connecting with people who are of great benefit for you. But it's a good house overall. So Aquarius rising and Aquarius sun sign, it's quite cool. Cool stuff. And then we come to the last zodiac sign, last but not the least. And for that, I'm going to have some water because we're touching on a water sign. Pisces. So for the Pisces, this new moon solar eclipse is landing in your 10th house. This is the house of career, your profession, your professional world, who you are in the outside world, in the workplace. Again, it's a new moon. It's a solar eclipse, something powerful there. So what you're going to be finding, especially, and you're going to see it over the next couple of months, is that there's something there about your job, about your career. What direction is it going in? This could be a new time to, again, plant seeds of actions that are going to create a new job for you, a new career for you, a better career for you. And again, we've seen here through 2020, a lot of us have been affected. A lot of our jobs have been affected. Many of us have had to lose our jobs or change jobs or change, rearrange, maybe take pay cuts, you know, depending what industry we're in. So, yeah, work is on the forefront for many of us, for most of us, it's fair to say, especially being what we've seen through 2020. And let me just say, you know, on that, you know, don't be alarmed because, you know, change is inevitable. We, you know, it's just that sometimes it comes to us in a very unexpected way or in a way that we wouldn't choose it to be like that, but it's necessary. You know, when one door closes, always it's another one must open. I know it's very difficult for many of us. You know, sometimes it's like, oh my God, all what we've known is just come to an end. Where do I go? You know, but it's just about, you know, just trusting, being patient, taking your time, trying to be creative. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be easy. For some people, it will be extremely very difficult as well. So all of these things have to be taken on board. But life does go on and life does continue. There's always hope. I assure you. When one door shuts, another one must open. It's the laws of the universe. So for you Pisces people, it's all about the career. It's all about your professional life. And you know, planting new seeds and planting new energies in and around that, which can be good for new jobs, promotion, a change of a workplace, changing your profession, maybe, or going into, maybe working in the same field, but going into a better, you know, just working maybe for a better company, better area, you know, maybe for better money, perhaps. Yeah, it's all about 10th house stuff. So yeah, that's what the eclipse essentially is bringing for you. So let's take out a tarot card for you, for the Pisces, and let's see what we got in store for you. So here we go. For the Pisces, you got the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands for you Pisces. So the 9 of Wands is a card that indicates somebody who's been through a little bit of strife, a little bit of difficulty, who's come to the end of their tether, so to speak. Come to the end of their tether and you're just taking a bit of a poised rest. Somebody, it's like you're running 100 meters and you're at the 90-meter mark. You've got 10 more meters to go. You've got one more hurdle to jump, and then it's all over. So you're coming to the end of something. But you know, the 9 of Wands indicates that you've been through a bit. It's been a bit stressful. It's been a bit heavy. Perhaps maybe the coronavirus may have been connected with that, and it's just indicating that you're coming to the end of that now. And you're just at a moment, you're just at a place at the moment, you know, where you're just like, oh, let me just take a breather. It's a little bit like boxing, you know. I used to box, and we used to, you know, in the middle, you know, we had to take breaks. You know, at the end of a round, you go back to your corner, have some water. So that you're kind of like that. You're kind of like a 12-round boxing match, and it's 12 rounds, and you're in the 11th round, the end of the 11th round, going into the 12th round. So you got one more round to go, and you're just in the corner at the end of the 11th, and you're taking some water, and it's like, and your trainer's saying, hey, one more round to go. You know, well done. You know, it's been a hard fight, but you got one more round to go, and then it's all over. The fight's yours. You've won it. So that's what the 9 of Wands essentially is about for you Pisces. Pisces rising, also Pisces sun sign as well. So essentially that's that's the 12 signs of the zodiac. So do pay very close attention to this eclipse. I'm wishing you all a happy eclipse in Sagittarius, new moon solar eclipse. Also as well, if you want to hit me up for, again, personal readings, you can WhatsApp me or text me on my number. It's 07943669879. I'll repeat that again, 07943669879. And you can hit me up also on my email, sacredplanets@gmail.com. You could also hit me up at israelajosie@gmail.com. Any of them, all the emails, they come through to me. Have a wonderful time, guys, and I will be back soon. I know it's been a while for you guys. I haven't posted anything of lately, but I'm going to be back, you know, so, you know, keep an eye on my YouTube channel as well, and, you know, everything will be posted there. In the meantime, guys, Have a great day. Have a great eclipse. We're coming to the end of that year, and I will be coming to you with information more in the next couple of days and towards the end of the year to let you know what 2021 has in store for us. On that note, guys, thank you very much. I'll speak to you guys soon.